ad. Fantastic. At least we're getting that ad revenue, baby.
Yeah, I fucking wish. Everybody can hear us fine now?
Yeah, we got looks like we got that hot mic.
Hot mic action. How you doing, folks? Thanks for stopping in.
How we doing?
We are reviewing The Void.
Yes.
Hello, Raven. As always. Good to see you.
Yeah. I'm just sending this out to a few more.
Oh, bada boom. There's Alan.
Bada boom, bada bing, this guy.
Bada pow. Good to see you.
Schmegagel.
Alan.
Why? I don't know why, but for some reason that theme song is stuck in my head. I can't get it out.
What theme song is it? I know it. It's not.
I Dream of Jeannie.
It's I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah. I'm
Some good
literally
old podcast in the back of my Tekken sesh. Very cool.
Absolutely. All right, I sent this to about as many people as I think I could
It's a beautiful
on
thing.
Facebook Messenger.
Everybody can hear us okay? Can I get a thumbs up in the chat?
Make sure the desktop audio is on too. That way, if somebody gets if we get a follow or a sub or something, people can see that.
Are they Kraft mac and cheese? Or are they Kraft singles? Hot singles in your area?
Craft singles in your area. Fuck, that's good. Why isn't where's the live? Where there it is. Share again.
Thank you, Raven. She said it sounds good. So we're good.
Hot Gouda singles.
Hot Gouda singles. Slathered all of my underwear.
I just made you say underwear. All right.
There's a band that whatever happened to them. They had their 15 minutes. It disappeared.
Yeah. Refresh. Yes. Okay, so that's on. All right. I think I shipped the link as much as I could. So yeah, hello everybody. What's up, Ed?
What's going on, dude?
I feel like I haven't seen you in like
3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been about that.
Been about that time. So yeah. All right, real quick. I want to. Okay, so there's a bit to unpack in this. So you had seen this already.
Yes.
But this was a movie that was brought up to, by our viewers, a few of our viewers last week. That said, you guys should watch this and do a review on it. So here we are, and I get kind of like with Long Legs with our review of that. I kind of went in blind. I didn't know anything about this. About like, I didn't know any synopsis or whatever.
You mean like when we paused like a quarter of the way in, you're like, I thought there was going to be space.
Yeah, like because you think like The Void, and like in the beginning it showed like space. And I'm just like, okay, this is gonna be like a space thriller. I like space. Space is cool.
There was space.
It's interesting. There was space.
It was a weird space.
There was a weird space. Yes. I gotta give credit where credit is due. This very much gave me like a vibe of like what made horror and thriller movies good in like the 70s and 80s. With like the practical effects. I don't think there was any special effects aside from like the actual void bit, where it was like, you know, they actually went through that thing in the end, and
Yeah,
There-
that
I
was
think
that was about it.
But like aside from that, like the creatures, whatever you want to call them, like the like the practical effects, the how the like the thing was like coming out of her mouth and just flipping around, and I'm like, that's gross, but it looks good.
But
like,
it looks good.
I mean, it doesn't look good. It looks gross, but like it looks legit. They really did a great job with this,
It looks well done and
Yeah.
painful.
dude. And but yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I was a little there's a couple of things that I was like there's one part that I brought up while we were watching it, where when the guy who's like the hunter and like his son or whatever, they're like
The axe.
they're swinging their
I didn't
axes.
catch that. Usually, I'm the one who catches that kind of stuff. but
They're
that was
swinging
good
their
eye.
axes, and I get like, you know, there's a lot of like maybe like 0.5 second shots back and forth of them of like with the slashing, because like with shots like that, when it comes to practical effects, you got to kind of do that to hide a lot of the imperfections, and because with practical effects you do get a lot of that. And I get that, but there was the one scene where like it's literally like camera A has him swinging with the back of the
Chop
axe
it forward, switch, chop it backwards, switch,
Yeah.
chop it forward
I
again.
was just like,
That's pretty good.
that was a little thing that I was just like, okay. But then there was another bone I had to pick with this movie, where in the beginning, when the hunter and that kid get to the hospital, like they have this place surrounded, and there's moments where like these people in those white robes with the black triangle, they're all, first there's like one, and then there's like 30, and then they're there, and then they back off, and then they're like all right, let's go back to let's go to the car and get the shotgun. And they're they were all outside surrounding the building for a minute, and then like 3 minutes later, the guy and the hunter and the kid come running through the front door as if they didn't just have. But like, I get they're trying to like they're not there to keep anybody.
So
They're keeping them from escaping, but
yes,
it's like imagine just running by, and you're just all these people in these white robes, and just excuse me, I'm trying to.
But,
Pardon me, let me squeeze on by so I can go shoot this kid with a shotgun or a rifle, whatever the hell it was.
Well, the only thing that I'll say in that regard is that they were previously they opened the movie. Now I know we were kind of sort of getting adjusted and situated, but those two characters actually opened the movie, and they're clearing out what was like the crack house, but it was actually the ritual house.
Yeah,
and they had already like killed a shitload of people.
Yeah, I got that vibe. I remember in the beginning when the very first scene when they it's that house and there's a gunshot and they're running outside, and the one guy makes it to the woods. The one girl's running out. They shoot her in the back with the shotgun and like burn her alive. And I was like, holy shit, this movie's kind of fucked up already.
Yeah.
She's like sitting there like crying like she just got shot in the back, and they just burn her alive. I'm like, holy fuck, where's this going to go?
But then you come to find out the only way you can actually get rid of those things is
By burning them. And which I thought was interesting, because the entity, whatever it is, that comes out of that pregnant girl, that's like stomping around, like chasing that guy after, it was just like burnt up. Like it was like, I thought that thing was burnt. Like it was charred on the outside a little bit, but
so you see the hunter. He throws the alcohol around, but he mostly gets himself. He's on his back. He's getting doused. So when he gets lit up, he's mostly what burns.
Yeah, because I remember, like, I saw it was like spraying a little bit on, but he mostly like burns himself, I guess. So it can't feed off of him and because I remember
turn him into
stuff,
into tentacle monster stuff.
Yeah, this movie is a fucking trip.
It's a fucking ride.
Those are really the only thing, like little scruples or whatever you want to call it. Like those are the only like bones I had to pick with with this movie. I like that, you know, we're doing 2 months of Halloween right now with horror movies.
Fuck yeah.
I'm very up for this. I grew up watching horror movies, so this is cool. I like going into movies not knowing what to expect.
I appreciate that you've like let me pick the past 2 movies,
Yeah.
and I've been able to go like, here's some weird shit. Here's some things you've never seen.
I definitely dig it, man. I was, and see, this is the thing, like you and I are very much I've always considered you and I birds of a feather. We definitely vibe off of the same things, but at the same time we're also vastly different in many ways too, which I think opposites attract. But I think we, like, you know, growing up we've always kind of been into a lot of like similar things.
Are you trying to seduce me?
Is it working?
Buy me beer.
The what was it, like, there was this one video that you and I came across in our early years, back at my old house in the computer, back when people had computer rooms. The Aphex Twin. We didn't even know what Aphex Twin was at the time. I think.
No, but
I think we just discovered Aphex Twin.
That opened that portal. Yeah. Now I own their fucking.
I came across this video and I was like, "This is fucked." I'm like, I don't know if I even want to watch this. This is gonna fuck me up.
Did I ever tell you the time that I put on Rubber Johnny for my son?
No. No. Not no as in no, you didn't tell me that. No as in don't do that. The poor kid. My God.
I put it on in the car, and he couldn't quite see what it was because it was on a little itty bitty screen way up in the front.
Fair, but I mean the song rules.
Oh yeah.
Like that song rips.
I had to skip through the beginning where, you know, there's the penis and the condom.
Yeah. Richard D. James is just fucking brilliant, and he's not one of those IDM artists where he just takes that one breakbeat sound and no, he has like all this stuff that it's so good. But yeah, I remember I forget who put it on, but I remember I walked out of the computer room and I'm like looking through like the door through the glass, and I just see like lights going across your face, and you're just sitting there like,
what the fuck is this?
And you were like, and I opened the door. I'm like, you all right? And you're like, this is fucking cool. And then I walk in. I'm like, okay, this is really wild. And then that rabbit hole is just opened up for us.
As soon as it cuts to the part where it's like, blah, 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 blah.
Oh yeah,
no, the part where the music starts to kick in and it starts going, blah, and it's the sort of the vibrato, but his tongue's going.
Oh yeah.
My son's like, I don't like this, and I was like, just let it do its thing. Just
Yeah.
chill. And then it cuts to the music. He's like, oh, that's okay. Is he shooting lasers? I'm like, yeah. As soon as his face was like, he was like, no, I really don't like this.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this is a bit extra for my 13, 14-year-old mind. Yeah, that was kind of
Alan's getting yelled at by the bot again.
When the music goes.
Yes, basically, yes. That's the best.
Yeah, it was a fucking trip. But yeah, like you and I have always been. I'm not gonna lie. I've been. Like growing up, I don't want to say I was like a pussy, but like
no.
But like I was like, and not even like squeamish, but like there were just certain things I was just like, I'm not getting into this. But then also like I had no issue watching like fucking, you know, movies when I was a kid, like of like people's rib cages getting ripped out and like really gory shit. So it's, I don't know, I'm kind of picky. I'm like a movie snob. I'm a music snob. I'm like,
well, when I was a kid, when I was like 5 years old, I tell this story, at least I told it to my kids and my wife, that the movie Labyrinth scared the ever-living daylights out of me. But
it was the puppets with like the little red glowing eye bits for me.
I think it's the same ones, the ones that take their heads off and shit.
Yeah.
Yes, for whatever reason, a buddy of mine actually like turned it on for us one time while his mom was babysitting me. He was my best friend, and his mom gave no shits. He was watching like Killer Clowns from Space.
Oh God.
Yeah, and like he was desensitized to that stuff by like really young.
See, like I think like 80s like PG is like PG-13 today.
Yeah, yes.
Because there's some things that were like PG back in the 80s. I forget what movie it was. I put on. I was looking for like something to put on while I was making dinner one day for my kid, and I forget what movie it was, but and my dad was sitting on the couch, and I went to put the movie on, and he was just like, I don't know if this is good for her, and I'm like, it's PG. It's like, but then I forget what movie it was, because there's parts where it's like, it was because I try to introduce my daughter to like the classics. Like, she loves Wizard of Oz. She's really into what else? What else have she been like getting into lately? I mean, she still watches Bluey like religiously. I can't forget. I can't remember.
I let my kids watch Sleepy Hollow, 1999 Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, that's
pretty R.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Meet me at the Flagpole 3 a.m. bot.
Alan in the bot getting into it.
We got
Oh, God.
God, I don't even want to get rid of the bot now. At first, I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be annoying," but like, nah, I like when the bot gets sassy with chat.
So, I have to say, one of the reasons why this movie was it ranked up in my top 10 list quickly is it's hard to do cosmic horror really well. There's only a handful of movies.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to sound like a broken record. There's people out there that do like cosmic horror, but no, they don't really do it into the realm of like this or The Thing or even Evil Dead. And usually it's because once you show the monster, it's not spooky anymore. But because there's so much variety, there's such a difference in the mutation.
Yeah.
Things are, and you're not sure, like, because that one scene where the one guy gets killed, like the thing kind of like comes up all contortionist style, like, and like drags them off. Like, it was a sheet a second ago. You weren't expecting that.
Yeah.
They're coming out of fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing with like.
And I can appreciate that, and I think that's one of the like John Carpenter's The Thing. Like,
yes.
That's one of the reasons that movie was so good, was because it was like you didn't really see this. Yeah, you didn't really see this until like the end, where it's kind of like it's not its true form, but it's like got the faces of.
It's
everything.
Not really trying to hide anymore.
Yeah. Like that one line from one of my favorite movies, Lucky Number Slevin, when Slevin is talking about how, that's when your villain's most effective, when you don't know what he looks like. Because he's like, they're talking about like Ernst Stavro Blofeld, and like, when you have a villain or an antagonist of a story, whether it's the head of Spectre from James Bond or a fucking alien from space, when you don't see what it looks like, that's what kind of makes it more terrible.
Withholding it, allowing the person's and that's again, yes, but like a movie, which one was it? It was supposed to be sort of cosmic horror-y, happened on a boat. I think it was Virus. I think that was the name of the movie, was Virus.
I think I've seen that one.
And it was same sort of body horror. It starts taking over machines, and it starts tying people into the machines.
That sounds interesting.
You never saw Virus?
No.
Yeah, there's a handful that are like that. I might be mixing up two of them, matter of fact.
I think it's mainly like cosmic, like when it comes to horror movies, cosmic horror is definitely a favorite of mine, and I think it's just because I have such a fascination with space and like obviously I love Star Wars, but like Interstellar I finally watched for the first time I think it was like 6 months ago. That was because that was like a really, I kind of like how they delved into like the fourth dimension, but like that's the thing about this movie is like, okay, he tackles the guy through the triangle portal thing, and then he's suddenly transported to this. The end. That's what got me at the end. I was like, the ending. I was just like, huh. And because like, they're there, and suddenly like he tackles the guy through the portal, but then like, okay, so the guy he just tackled is gone, and now he's standing next to his I forget her name, his love interest and his wife. And they're just like holding hands like underneath this giant floating black pyramid.
And he turns and looks at her and says, "You met me at a really strange."
Yeah, I was just you literally. Oh, I was about to say it.
I think that's sort of to leave things up to interpretation. Like, does he really die? I mean, at this point, he's been stabbed in the chest, stabbed in the back.
Yeah, he. I mean, that's another thing because the guy, the doctor that became that main antagonist, was talking about like, death is, like it's not an end, and he could very well be like that where him and his, because he chopped his wife's head off, or like what that
they don't really get into that either now,
and it's like they both could be in the void, which is the afterlife essentially. And then you have that the big triangle there, and then you have this like, it's very like culty, like that's what I didn't get. Like it was like a sex cult, like very. It's like even the one guy in the movie was like, what, like it was some Satanist shit. He's like, no, like this is beyond Satanism. This is like much more than that. And I'm like, it kind of looks like, I don't know, like I said, it was like a sex cult, fucking drugs and
Cthulhu. Why? It's Cthulhu's brother who's really into sex.
The guy who the brother that watched too much of the Japanese
the
tentacle videos,
the Squigglies on channel 69.
Yeah. But yeah, that I mean, I like movies that do kind of leave it up to interpretation, kind of like not so much, not a cliffhanger. What's the word I'm looking for? But like it's
open-ended.
Yeah, where it could be like, could it be this or that? And I think that from what I gathered, it's the both of them are definitely like dead.
Yeah,
and that guy, the doctor who became that like being when he went through the void, like that's kind of where he wanted to go anyway. Like you just did him a favor, really, like tackling him through there. But at the same time, since that gate closed, so did that sub-basement.
I will actually argue that I don't think that was his final goal. I don't think that's where the doctor wanted to end up, in the void. I think that he wanted to bring his daughter back and exist as like sort of a godhead on the planet, because that was the reason why he brought his daughter, whatever.
Yeah,
amalgamation of
sadness. Yeah, like it was like it's like. And this poor girl's like screaming like, oh, this giant like monster comes out of her, and he's like, look at my daughter, isn't she beautiful? And it's like, you're like, no,
sir,
this is terrifying.
on a scale of 1 to 10, you failed.
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, that's a hard no.
It's a hard no.
You missed.
And then for her to immediately like wander into the next room and get her face burn off, and then get crushed between the walls, like on the parenting scale, you're not doing well either.
Yeah, the guy. So,
did you catch the one part is? Did you catch that? Realistically, the doctor killed their kid.
The one when he lost his kid in the beginning, when he was initially talking about that.
So the cop and the head nurse,
yeah,
they had a baby that was prior.
Yeah, and they had
was
lost
their source of tension.
Yeah, they lost their kid.
And the doctor was the one who was supposed to be like treating them, and he knew that the baby's umbilical cord was wrapped around its neck, and he didn't do anything to stop it.
Yeah,
which is an easily like reversible situation that you can go in and emergency.
That happened to me when I was in the womb too.
And
Actually,
this is my point.
yeah.
And here you are.
And I turned out great.
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
I'm all right. I don't have any. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not that dumb.
I don't have tentacles coming out of my ears.
Yeah.
We're good.
But yeah, that's it's another one of those things where it's like, one thing I always kind of pride myself in is there's a lot of movies when I'm watching it, I'm just like, okay, saw that coming, like, but then literally these last two, I'm like, where's this going?
Right?
What?
Yes.
I don't know what to expect. Oh, because I'm not gonna lie, like within the first like act, like the first two acts, I was just like, so things are just kind of happening. Like, there's not a lot of direction or like that, but then like by the third act, you
it ties it all up.
Dots start connecting, and I like that. I like, because that kept me like invested, and I'm like, I didn't feel like, aside from like the commercial, because we watched it for free on Freevee or whatever, and it's on, and you gotta deal with
somebody
the ads.
somewhere is sitting, who's putting in those commercials, and is like, like the one. Did you see the one with it happened on Disney, where there was a Freevee, and it was the scene where Queen Amidala is addressing the Senate.
I did, yeah.
And somebody inserted
an ad where it's
for
Acolyte,
the Acolyte, and then it cuts back to her going, "That's not going to last long."
This is how democracy dies, with thunderous applause. It literally goes, so this is how democracy dies, and then it cuts to a commercial, an ad for Acolyte. Like, whoever did that was just like, man, I'm just gonna click and drag this
I'm
here.
gonna slide this right in here. Somebody was watching this movie and was like,
tip of the cap to that guy, by the way.
We have to cut the tension by we're gonna pull the tension down a little bit right now. We're gonna put in another one for Elemental for like the 5th time.
Yeah. Oh God, well, that's another movie my daughter was obsessed with. But yeah, this movie was I really enjoyed it, as for, like, it had every like classic cosmic horror trope in there, like everything from
it had a lot of the classic like slasher film sort of
like
sneak-ins.
Exactly. That's one of the reasons, like everything from the practical effects to the straight up like hands-on gore, to the implied gore, to the flickering lights, like when she goes to turn on the light to get the medicine by herself, and the lights are kind of flickering because like it's I'm like, oh, that light's flickering, something's gonna happen. Those tall tales where it's kind of like, you're like, oh, what's gonna happen? And then I love that you brought up a really good point while I was watching it, because at one point when all those robed hooded figures are around the hospital, and like that loud noise, that trumpeting noise happens, and all the power goes out outside, like in the building. But then I was like, okay, so the power's out outside, but the power's still on inside. And you were like, most hospitals do have backup generators. I'm like, that makes sense. But like, there's been so many times when like you watch a movie and like the power goes out, but it's like, okay, because I'm almost positive that there's been times when I watch a movie, power goes out in like a hospital.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh no, how are we going to keep this person alive?
Somebody writing didn't have, any knowledge of the real world that like most major buildings have some sort of backup generator because of emergency situations.
Yeah, especially at like a hospital or police station,
casino.
Yeah. So that was that was a good note that I really liked.
The other question you had for me was how did the emergency lights turn red? And that's because the doctor had this shit planned for like months, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a part when it's like
At least 9 because that girl was impregnated.
yeah, it was very like, all right, I need red lights here. I need red lights here.
I needed to be very ambiance. I need the ambiance.
I need to set the mood for when my minions come and try to and take this like 20-year-old girl that I impregnated with a demon into this sub basement that isn't really there, but it's there on a different dimensional realm.
It's another part of the void. It's a void in the wall.
Yo, dog, we heard you like voids, so we put a void in your void.
Void inside of your void.
What was that exhibit thing I said?
We heard you like basements. So we put a basement.
Oh yeah,
inside
that's
your
what it was. I was like, "Yo, dog, we heard you like basements, so we put a basement in your basement." It's like putting like bagel bites on a pizza. Yo, dog, we heard you like pizzas, so we put these little pizzas on your pizza so you can enjoy your pizza while you're eating your pizza. Pizza.
So, since you watched another movie, and there's really not much more to say about The Void.
Yeah,
I think
this one was pretty straightforward. There wasn't really, there was a lot to dissect, but at the same time, it was very, like, there's not much to go. Like, it was good. I enjoyed it. I would give this a good, like, 7.5 out of 10.
Oh yeah, 7.5. I would lean a little more to like 8 personally.
Yeah,
but
I just think, I mean, there were times when it was not there were moments, and I can't really remember off the top of my head. I have to like rewatch it, but there were moments where it's like the writing was kind of stagnant, where it was kind of like, this doesn't sound like it'd be a real conversation.
There's supposed to be tension in this scene. Make sure you guys fight.
Yeah, it's there are ways I'm like, this isn't how people would interact or react. Like the one guy who was a cop. Like, I'm like, this is kind of a bitch boy of a cop. Like, he's not really taking...
He gets out. He's approaching the.
It seems like he just really hates his job.
Just steps out of the car and he's talking to the cult member. And hello.
Yeah. He just
hello.
Just rolled. Didn't even do that. Just rolled down his window. Hi.
Hi.
Or no, that he said that to the hooded
costume party today.
Yeah.
Like nothing. Not a good one-liner.
Yeah. No, I was like, ugh. I couldn't help but think of the scene in. It was the first Terminator when the guy's like, laundry day. No clean clothes, right? And he's like, no clean clothes, right? I'm like, it makes sense because he's just like parroting, like he's was it like a repurpose, or no, not repurposed. He was repurposed in the second one. But he's like a Terminator. He's a fucking robot. Like he's just, but yeah, I couldn't help but think of that one scene. but yeah, like there were a couple parts where I was like, this doesn't really. I'm kind of thrown out of the immersion here, but there were a lot of parts where I was in it
until we were fully immersed.
Yeah, and then I was just like,
I feel like the first half of the movie, they're sort of trying to set up the third act.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm like, things are just kind of happening right now, and I'm not really following, but I'm still somehow invested in this, and that's why I like it. That's why I still gave it like a strong 7.5. I gave Long Legs an 8 out of 10, because that's like, I feel like 10 is like absolutely perfect. Nothing was wrong with it. 0 is just like, absolute worst. Like there was nothing good about this.
So let's talk about another 8.59. I would actually go as far as say it's like a 9.5 to a 10 for me. 9.5,
which is
Upgrade.
Oh yeah, I watched Upgrade last night. Finally, So this is gonna you guys are getting a twofer this week. I'd seen a clip of Upgrade, which is probably a really popular one on YouTube, where it's the guy he's like Stem, I give you full control, and like he's a quadriplegic, and but he has this device on the back of his neck and attaching to his brainstem that helps him be able to walk and pretty much like give him his arms and legs back and his life back. Little did he know that this device had its own
agenda?
Agenda, yeah, but it was an AI, it was an artificial intelligence, and it kind of like and it just starts like fucking up this guy, and he starts fighting back, and all of a sudden he's like, the AI is using his body to fight back, and he's predicting every move, and he just ends up killing this guy. But yeah, Upgrade. I love the analogy that you gave me, where it was kind of like it played off of a spiritual aspect of it, and I didn't really put those two together until you said it, and I was like, oh, that's good. Oh, that just made it so much better. So yeah, that movie I'd give probably 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 easily. One of my all-time favorite movies, and sort of cosmic horror because the bad guy's never on screen.
Yeah, it's not that he's on screen, but he's in the screen.
He's in you.
How's the movie set? I am the set.
But also, one of the things that I really appreciate about that movie is the cinematography and the set design.
Yes.
Because it's definitely like, if you pay attention to it, if you just watch it and you glaze over it, it just looks like a modern time. It just looks like everything's sort of normal until you start seeing things like the electric car, or the electric cars, especially as the movie opens up and he's like working in his garage, and that doesn't seem that.
Yeah. It seems like it's like present day kind of vibe, and then once he
hits that car accident, you're like, what kind of fucking car was that?
Yeah. Well, when he gets out of the he's in like the very first scene, he's working on that the what's that, the Pontiac Firebird. Yes. Once he gets out of the garage after working on the car and everything, he walks outside and he has he's drinking a beer because he didn't get the beer from the fridge in the actual kitchen. It was a fridge that he had in the garage. But once he's outside and you see like the houses kind of look slightly futuristic, a car driving by was an electric, like futuristic looking car, and it's like, oh, okay, so he's working on like an old car, like that's relatively new to us, but I feel like this is like 2050 like earliest. And his wife comes home from work or whatever, and like the window dematerializes to like clear.
Another thing is he lives a very good life. He makes a lot of money restoring old cars.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's his gig.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives that sense that like this is so far in the future that people are spending a lot of money to do this.
Yeah. And which another thing I wanted to make note of, I love when movies do this. And it's when in the very beginning either something happens or a character does something, and then at the very end of the movie that same thing happens again, either in the exact same way or in the same way but in a different setting, but like that same thing happens where it like kind of I like when the end of movies harken back to the beginning of it
and shed more light on the original.
Yeah, so the part in the beginning of the movie when he like cuts his finger on the engine, he's like, oh, and and then he goes back to about finishing up on the car, and then at the end of the movie, his finger is like all messed up, but like now it's Stem in full control of his body, and his hands all bloody and stuff, and Stem in control of his body licks blood off his finger, and a part of me is like, wait, is Gray still there? That's a thing Gray did in the beginning. Is he still kind of in control? Like it was, that's another, like, that was just like a little thing that I thought, like a little mental note I thought about.
Or is Stem being more human?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it was so good.
So the car that Gray was working on was a Pontiac Firebird, and on the hood, the screaming chicken. A lot of people hate when you call it that, but so that
is it not a screaming chicken?
No, you know what it is?
What is it?
It's a phoenix.
What? Oh man, that's like one of them like firebirds, like them birds that are made of fire
that poof into and then rise from the ashes.
That's why they call it a Pontiac Firebird.
Yeah, but it's a phoenix.
But yeah, I get that.
I didn't know if you caught that.
I didn't until you said it. But yeah, that's a good nod too, being like
being in the Pontiac as a car accident, and then he rises from the ashes
as
Stem.
Oh man, that's. Is it too late to legally change my name
to what, Gray?
Steve.
You already
Stem.
are Atlas Gray.
I meant Steve Stem or Stem Steve.
Stem cell.
But yeah, Upgrade was really cool.
That's another one where from the start of the movie, like, you kind of have an idea. The movie's called Upgrade. You're expecting some sort of technological incorporation, but you never expect it to go that direction.
Yeah, especially the fight with Fisk at the end was really cool, and I liked how there was like 4 main fights because I think there was like 4 guys that were there at the accident when like his wife gets unalived, and that scene, and I think it was like 4 guys. There was Fisk, Talon, who was the guy that he beat up in the men's room at the bar, the other guy whose first house where he breaks into, and then it was the other guy that was like always following Fisk around. So I think it was like 4. And
you're saying these names, and it's making me think about something.
But yeah, like the scene where like he comes at him with the knife, and then he just comes up, puts his knee behind him, like right through his jaw, like, oh my God, completely separates the mandible and maxilla from the. That's some hard TMJ right there. But yeah, I love the fight scenes. They were cool.
Fisk, Cirque, Tolan, and Wen.
That was their names.
Those were the 4 guys.
Cirque was the first one. Tolan was the guy in the bathroom. Fisk was like the leader guy with the crustache. And Wen was that's his name, Wen?
Wen, W-E-N.
He was the guy that he broke his arm and made him shoot his own head off, which was also a badass fight scene.
So I thought there was you saying that was making me think that there was actually a tie-in or sort of a callback to the original Crow. But that's Top Dollar,
Funboy,
T-Bird, Skank, Funboy, Tintin, Grange.
I don't know why, but like funny nicknames
make good bad guys.
Yeah. Unless it's a Guy Ritchie movie. I like the nicknames they have in those.
Classic actor. The guy who played Top Dollar. One of my favorite. He's got that voice where it's sort of gravelly and
You do, because that's kind of like you.
What?
You kind of have this, like, you've always kind of had a voice where you like smoke 10 packs a day.
I don't smoke 10 packs a day.
I mean, you used to smoke up 1 pack a day.
3, but it's cool. That was I haven't.
Whilst
I
having
haven't
a mouthful of dip.
I haven't legitimately smoked a cigarette since I was like. No, well, that's not necessarily true, but I didn't purpose. No, can't say that either.
Yeah,
I quit smoking
I tripped
when
and
I was
fell
27.
and I lit a cigarette somehow.
I quit smoking when I was 27. I've gone back here and there, but I never stay with it long.
It's a tough habit to kick, man.
It tastes like crap.
They do.
It tastes like crap.
And yeah, I haven't had a vape in a while. I tried to quit vaping and smoking, and then stress, and I'm just like, fucking give me a cigarette.
My ADHD won't let me quit vaping. If I do that, I might end up hurting someone.
There's times when like I'm at home and
people think I'm kidding when I say that. It's not. I would probably harm someone.
Vaping is. Nick fits are a real thing, man.
Yeah, bro.
I'm like sitting there and I'm just like, I'll be like, when I'm streaming or if I'm like at my computer just working on something, I'm like, and there's times when like I go to reach for something. I have like because I used to always have my vape next to my mouse on my computer, so I'd be like, where I need something. I need the suck. I need something to suck.
Dad, at least once a week, gets on me about quitting smoking and quitting vaping and quitting drinking caffeine, and it's like, if I do either one of those, I'm going to end up on a.
There are worse vices that you could have. Like, we're not like saying, "Hey, man, you gotta."
I'm not saying anybody should start.
You should really stop drinking all that scotch, man. It's really just cut back. Like, it's not like you're drinking heavily or like I said, there's worse vices you could have. Everybody has to have 1 or 2 in their life. Caffeine and nicotine, not the worst. But yeah, I really enjoyed these movies. How's everybody doing? I don't know what else to talk about here. I think we covered 2 movies. We didn't really do like, I mean, we did like a half hour on The Void, and then another half hour talking about Upgrade, which was good. I really want to get back to one day soon, like when we actually have like the time and the space for it, but pretty much I want to do more like podcast, like times that like sort of like literally like us just talking about shit that we were talking about on the phone earlier.
Well, I see. I would love to, and I told you my reasoning why I wanted to get away from that is because I'm worried about people just tuning out.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing is that there's so many other people out there that are talking about it. Now, granted, they've all pretty much turned into the fruit of the poison tree, because once you start slapping labels to things, people tend to go into it with biases. But I would love to try and open people's minds up to the real world. But
yeah, I mean that's probably something we could do where we could bring it down to a more, because there is a point, like I mean we've said it a bunch of times on the show before. We do have a Discord. Go to Instagram @generallyadmitting. Give us a follow. We have a link tree in there that connects to our Discord and all of our other social media. I want to do a thing eventually where like maybe we have sessions after a show, maybe on a Friday, where we can talk with you guys in the community directly in Discord. Where we just hang out and voice chat, or we can do a setting like this where we got our webcams on and we can like really talk to each other and talk about things other than movies. Like if you want to talk about like some pretty hot topics, like I would love to talk about different things.
I would do that, but I would have to put it behind a member paywall to make sure. Not necessarily a paywall is the term that I'm looking for, because if we can figure out a way
You gotta
to
screen the
Yeah.
people come in somehow, because like anybody could just come in and just
if you want to do like a call-in show and have it set up so that like we can invite our usual followers to watch as we talk about that kind of stuff and sort of give away like free memberships, I'm all about that. Help them out. But yeah, we got to. That's.
I think it'd be a
that's
cool
a more
idea.
having those more private conversations.
Yeah, I think it'd be
should
cool.
stay more private.
Yeah, because like talking about like religion and politics and
Yeah.
stuff like that, those are hot topics, and there's plenty of other channels that are talking about it right now. But I do like the episodes we used to have where, we talked about like modern dating, being, comparing you and I being dads to like how like our dads were when they were our age. What else did we talk about? Like aliens,
spirituality.
yeah, spiritual stuff,
Ghosts, aliens, government.
yeah,
We talked about all that stuff.
and the how much the entertainment industry sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I would love to do a thing where like we have an after party type show where we all just after an episode we just all meet up in Discord and shoot the shit and talk about religion or politics or about the episode we just did or other movies and video games and anything in between. Like
whatever subject comes up.
Yeah. So like again, we're gonna be probably reviewing. We've been doing movies, and we'll keep doing movies until Halloween. I like this because there's a lot of like horror movies out there, but I think October, like first week of October, we should really go heavy into like the horror genre.
Yeah.
But next, I mean, when does Warhammer come out again? Space Marine 2?
Space Marine 2 comes out in, I want to say the 8th.
October
2
8th?
days, September 8th.
Or September 8th? Perfect. So maybe we can review that, because that is a very popular thing. That's
Stop teasing me.
I'm not teasing you.
Stop teasing me.
I'm not. Let's do it.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm geeked.
It's a fucking really it's a hot topic right now. Everybody's talking about
Have
it.
you seen any videos for it?
I've watched a couple live streams of it, and there's I watched one person that was streaming it that it was I just wanted to see like the gameplay, and it kind of reminds me of how like Gears of War used to play. It's like I mean, I don't know if there's a first person view of it, but from what I saw it was like a third person kind of like over the shoulder view, and there was like a Space Marine just like with the chainsaw sword just hacking at somebody, and I'm like, oh shit, this is cool. And
So it's going to have like sort of mechanics like Doom, where they have like the stun mechanics, and then you have the glory kills. So there's going to be that part of it. I
do
played
like that.
I played the first one, and I have an inclination that this one's going to be similar in a lot of structures, because they do incorporate a lot of the tabletop game into it. You don't necessarily need to play the tabletop game or know any of the backstory to enjoy this game, but you will notice that like ammo resource management is a big thing. It's okay. You usually have some sort of melee weapon, a chainsword, a regular power sword, a hammer, a mace. You have something usually as your secondary, but that's literally, especially in this version of the game, like not where you want to be when you're getting swarmed.
Yeah.
So that was really what was a lot of fun about the original one, is if you just go ham and just start like running into hordes and you're just like shooting everything up, if you burn through your ammo and you're down to like, you got to figure out like either where to find more ammo, how to fight your way out of this. Cause I did that a couple times where, it would be a whole, what do they call that? A wave that would come in, and you would finish off that wave. And then right behind it would be a sergeant. or an elite of some sort. And then every once in a while, it would like turn on you, and you would like you're expecting that single elite, and there's 3 of them. So yeah,
there was a game I played. It's still out now. That was kind of like that. The Division, that had something like that where these like elites, like you had like some low level like NPCs that would run around you that you'd have to shoot at, and then like if you're in the dark zone, there were like other players that were heavily armored and armed. But then there were these like bosses that like would always drop good loot, but they were just bullet sponges. And like just one of them, like you're going through 12, 15 maybe magazines of ammo, and then there's like a few of them, and it's like it's just tedious as fuck.
That was definitely the tedium of the Division. I will agree to that 100%. You're not going to run into this because these tend to be far more balanced. If it's a bullet sponge, there's a reason. It's a tank.
Yeah.
Like, you're going up against a serious tanky thing.
That's why, like, when it came to like Star Wars: Old Republic or World of Warcraft, I like being tanks. I like playing as a tank because I'm just like, all right, everybody, look at me, attack me, all right, and then just have like a healer tapping me while DPS is doing their thing.
Pretty much, if you have a pistol, like just like the game, if you go up against like fodder units, like they're going up against the Tyranids in this one. And actually, they just sneak peeked that there's also going to be Chaos Cultists, which is awesome. But typically, the low-level guys who are like Termagants, Gaunts, Termagants have guns. They can shoot back, but they take 1 hit. And that's the same as the tabletop as it is in the game, in the video game. Same thing with the Gaunts. They have razor blade hands. They got these big fucking sword hands. And they can do a lot of damage if you let too many of them bombard you.
Yeah.
But again, they take 1 hit, take 1 bullet. If you have a pistol, you can fight your way out of that. It's the Leapers. They're about your size. And they have like these giant sickle mantis arms. They have...
I think I've seen those in StarCraft.
Carnifex. And Carnifex are like, there's actually a couple different types of Carnifexes. They've been showing a few of them. There's a Screamer Killer that has like 4 arms that are these giant blades that literally could rip through a tank, and they're also like 2 stories tall.
And they're called Screamer Killers?
They're called Screamer Killers.
That's probably what I would call that too. Jesus Christ. A 2-story tall fucking thing with sword hands that cuts through tanks.
Then there's another Carnifex that has a gun that's like the size of a tank. And yeah, there's all sorts of stuff, dude. It like the one thing that they're not short on is fucking enemy variants. Like there's plenty of different things to kill.
But yeah, we'll I think so probably like that week whenever that comes out, get you to play it for a week, and then we can do a proper review on it. I can maybe try to see if I can get my hands on it too.
My son will be stoked because we've been talking about playing it.
Yeah, I gotta. I mean, I'm probably gonna be having a lot of not free time soon, but we'll work around it because I want to do like a review on a game, and I think that'll be a good
jump off point.
Yeah, and then I really want to delve into a game that's got a bit of what's the word I'm looking for?
Controversy.
It's controversial. It's I want to do a review on Star Citizen. An end like a fourth quarter of 2024 review of Star Citizen.
They just released another teaser trailer for something else that they're adding to the game. I believe it's a mech suit of some sort.
A mech suit.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that because I was playing it earlier this afternoon actually, and I've been playing it a little bit more recently.
Did I find something about Star Citizen that you didn't know about?
Probably.
Oh shit!
Because I haven't really been keeping up with it lately. Like I pop into the verse and play once in a while. Like I'll do I'll do some like bounty missions here and there, but I really want to get you to come over and try it out and take a look at it and get a real.
Is it free to download or is it?
They have, so you have to have in order to play it, you gotta like buy a pledge thing. Like it's
Okay.
the cheapest one that you can get is like $45.
I was gonna say,
You get a ship and you get the download access for the game. But every once in a while they do have events where you can play it for free for like a week.
Okay.
You don't have to pay for anything. You just go to the website, click download, play the game, and I think they also give you access to like a handful of like ships that you can like fly for free. You get your own like hangar. So the way it works is you wake up and you pick essentially like what planet you want to make your home base.
Okay.
And you wake up in this apartment and in that city or on that planet. Because every planet has like a major city, like
Right.
So you wake up there, you put and they actually just recently added a thing, and this is another reason why I've been playing it so much, is because like they're adding more to it. Like they're getting closer and closer to being in like beta, because it's been in pre-alpha for like 10, 12 years now.
Right, and there's just been a managerial change that we were talking about.
Yeah. So now they're actually getting shit done. And like when I first started playing in like 2012, it was literally just you had one space station that you woke up in. There were no planets you could really travel to. There were planets there. I think there was one planet which was a gas giant, which is called Crusader, which you can actually land into now. They have like, it kind of looks like Cloud City on Bespin, like it's a gas giant with all this like, but you're flying through the atmosphere and it's just like this small city in the clouds where it's just like, yeah, I'll show it to you one day. But now you can actually go there. Before, when I first started playing, there was like 3 or 4 ships you could really have, and then you woke up on a space station. Everybody woke up on this one space station called Port Olisar. You could do these missions where you repair a satellite, and you just fly out to the satellite. You spacewalk into it. You press a button, it repairs. Boom, you have credits. Now you can go buy weapons and do some PvP or whatever. And a lot of it was just like people would be waiting in their ships out of the armistice zone and just light you up, and it would piss me the fuck off. But now there's like, you can go to all these planets. All these planets have different areas where you can, do these missions, and it's so vast.
Did you ever play Destiny?
I did. I played the first one when it first came out. I played the beta, the open beta, not the closed beta, and I played a little bit of the game itself. Destiny 2, I played very briefly. I didn't get really too far into it, to be honest.
Okay.
It wasn't bad, but it wasn't really my cup of tea.
I kind of get the feeling that Star Citizen's mission structure is a lot like Destiny. Now, I've never played the game, but that's sort of...
I think their main thing is just to be a very immersive space simulator / first-person shooter.
Right.
It's very like, and I get that Destiny's like kind of like that too, but there's an actual story within Destiny.
Yeah.
As like a campaign that you can do.
And they haven't actually like released a campaign for Star Citizen yet.
Yeah, so technically Star Citizen it's 2 things. You have the Persistent Universe, which is Star Citizen now, that you can go into and you can explore that solar system that they have in there right now. It's just a solar system that is called the Stanton system, that has like 5 planets, I think, and then each of those planets has like 1 or 2 moons.
Okay.
I think one actually has 3, maybe, but it's a lot of space. It's like I literally woke up on an ArcCorp where my home base is, because it's very like Night City. You would love it. It's so fucking nice. It's very, as soon as like you walk out of your apartment and you're just like, you see the neon lights, you see like you see traffic going above and stuff, and you're just like, this is fucking cool. And you know, and there's a fucking like hot dog stand right there with steam coming up, and it's like kind of like dirty and gritty but futuristic. Love it. But I get in my ship, I go pick up a mission, pick up a bounty, and it's like, oh, this is 54 gigameters that way, which is 1,000 to the third power like meters. So like hundreds of tens of millions of kilometers away. So, and you have like quantum travel. If you have a ship that has a quantum engine, some don't. Like I have one that's a snub fighter, which is just like, I used to put my snub fighter, which is it's like an X-wing pretty much, and the wings kind of just come up like this, and I put it in my friend's Carrack, which is this giant fuck off ship that has a fucking hangar bay in like the top of it. And we flew out in the space, and I put my my snub fighter in his.
Is this like some sort of furry kink?
No,
spaceship kink.
I mean, yeah, kind of.
I put my ship in his hangar.
I put my ship in his hangar. And
we practiced space docking.
He pulled my hair a little bit. It was nice. And but it was cool because at one point, so this ship has it's a big ship. Like you need like someone at the helm, you need someone at navigation, you need someone engineering. There was like 5 of us, and these 2 other players were attacking our the Carrack. And normally when you see someone flying in a Carrack or a Constellation or like a big like capital ship, they're not capital ships, but they're big ships. Normally it's like, oh, let's fuck them up. Let's see what they got. Let's see what kind of gear. They have to have good gear. And so these 2 guys in their ships, one was in a Cuddy Black, which is a Cutlass, kind of like a gunship type, and another guy was in a Mustang, which is like a fighter jet looking kind of ship. So these 2 guys are attacking and everything, and I'm just like, and we're in Discord talking, and they're like, you get to this at one, this, you put shields on this, like put power, and there's like, you know, we're sort of like, oh, this is getting good, and I'm just like, hold my beer. I go up to the dorsal fucking hangar bay, and I'm like, turn whichever way they're facing, put the belly of the ship that way, and so that way I got cover on my way out. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, all right, the belly of the ship's facing. So I'm like, all right, put all the shields on the ventral side. I'm coming out, open the dorsal hangar, and I come out, and I come flying out, and I just like put my wings out. And mind you, it's called the Merlin. The thing has 2 laser cannons on the side and a Gatling gun on the front of it. And I just come out spitting like pew 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 pew, and and I took out the fucking Mustang like instantly. And you see the other guy trying to like hightail it, and we end up chasing this guy like fucking like hundreds of kilometers.
I thought you were going to tell me that you just opened up the gates and just like quantum jumped out of it like, into another solar system like
that. I
get ready, guys.
I guarantee
later.
It's happened before. But it was just one of those things where like it was so fun. Like it's one of those games like if you have friends to play with. It you can say that about any video game, but like it just makes it 10 times more fun.
There's also, it's not permadeath for the character, but you have permadeath for your ship, unless you have insurance.
Yes. So I will say there was a time when I crashed my ship. And I ejected. You can eject out of your ships, depending on what kind of ship it is. The larger ships typically have like escape pods. So, but like my ship, which is an Aegis Avenger Stalker, which is an interceptor ship, and I have like 6 holding cells where I can like collect bounties and put them in there and stuff. It's really awesome. But it kind of looks like a NASA space shuttle had a baby with a fighter jet. Like it looks cool. But the top, it has like it has a cockpit like a fighter jet. So there's a part where like I can like pull this eject thing and I'm ejected out, and I don't think it's not a parachute, but like you kind of can like safely my thing didn't do that. I ejected. I'm watching my ship crash as I'm just like free falling, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good. So I die. I respawn at, and when you die, you respawn in a medical bay, and you're literally just in a medical gown, and you have a screen above you that shows your vitals and all this stuff, and it shows you've been healed. You get up, and now they have these things which are inventory.
Chests?
No, kind of, but it's like, so every planet has its own instance.
Yeah.
So if ArcCorp is my like home base, and that's usually where I get all my gear, if I go to an inventory screen, it's like a panel or something. If I go there and I want to get like, okay, I want to take like this gun out, I want to take this armor out. Like I have one.
So it's like a locker, like
pretty much, but
like
it's
a
like
universal locker,
an infinite amount of space.
Yeah,
like you can put anything in there, from like, you know, a magazine for a weapon to a giant replacement for your laser cannons for your ship, and everything in between.
A lot of games do that, like Dying Light. Like if you got certain areas, safe zones, you have like an infinite locker where you dropped it off back at your home base or there, you can scoop it up.
So like if I'm on ArcCorp, I can grab all that stuff. If I'm on Hurston, which is another planet, like I have zero access to that, so I wouldn't be able to get to it. So I wake up in ArcCorp.
Are the lockers based to the instance? So like, why would you hit your head, dog?
That was loud.
Are you okay?
He's like,
I'm
I'm
just huffing at me. All right, I guess you're good.
He's like, don't look at me.
Thump.
Not my proudest moment. But yeah, there's a spot where so like this, it's like the way their servers work is like you can, I think right now you can have up to 50 people per server. So it's not like overcrowded, but it's not undercrowded. Unless you just get shit luck and you go into a server where it's literally just like you're the only one there. Oh, now he's awake. Were you just yelling at him about eating people food?
No, I was yelling at him for trying to sneak it.
Oh, okay.
If I give it to him, it's different. But
Fair.
if he's trying to like worm his way through all the gear so that he can like just stick his face in the bag,
like how he's kind of thinking about right now.
Yeah, now he's looking at me like, you got another one in your hand, or
yeah, he's sniffing around like, you got more? Where is?
Take my package of salami.
Salam, the salami lid.
The salami lid. The salami lid ain't gonna fit.
But yeah, but what's cool about it is, so I crash and my ejection seat thing just failed and I just free fell to my death. But I was able to fly back to where I died and collect my gear. But the thing is, my gear was under the crashed ship. So it was like I had to really like crawl underneath and get like, you know, loot my body. I had to like drag it a little bit, and like it was a process, but like I got all my gear back. I got like I recently had to buy,
and that's intentional.
Yes.
Like having to interact with it like that.
Yeah.
That's intentional.
Yes.
Really? That's cool.
And what's cool about it, so they call it the persistent universe because there is a persistence in that universe. Like I can I can make a dead drop and so I can go to like any planet, and I can write down on like a piece or like make a note in my phone. I'm like, these are the coordinates for this area, and I can go on any planet in the middle of fucking nowhere, like far away from any outposts or anything, like where people are not very likely to find. Like even if someone like even if there's like anywhere where there's like ore veins where people can mine for resources, I won't put it anywhere near there. I can make like a dead drop for gear if I'm like in a bind, and I can just fly over there and I can drop a bunch of gear in this one spot in a box or something, and like put it near like a bush or something, and so nobody can really see it if they do happen to fly by it or walk by it or whatever. And I can log out one day, 1 year, 2 years later, come back, it's still going to be there.
As long as somebody doesn't find it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And that alone is impressive as hell to me. Like the only things that really respawn are like if your ship crashes.
Is there like some sort of resource cost to like build these things?
Mm-mm.
No.
No, you just
I'm
if you have the gear.
random shit everywhere.
Oh yeah, dude. I literally earlier today I was walking. I was walking from my apartment to the tram to go to the spaceport, and someone left a med pen. They walked by, they dropped a med pen, and I just picked it up. I put it in my stash. I found a drink, and I saw it was like half drunk, and I was like, well, I'm not drinking that, and I just dropped it back down. But you can walk by things and like you can see things that like people have dropped.
Is there like a survival mechanic in this?
Yes, so you do need to eat and stay hydrated.
Okay.
So when you're out and about, you have on your HUD a thing that shows atmospheric pressure, your body temperature, the outside temperature, and your heart rate, if you're thirsty and if you're hungry.
Is there a virus or sickness mechanic?
Not yet, not that I know of. I'm
just wondering.
But that would be interesting if they implemented that as well. I don't know if that's something they're gonna add. But yeah, the game has been getting a lot of flack and a lot of heat for good reasons.
Well, yeah, I mean it's been in development. It hasn't been in development hell, but it's been in development for 12 years.
It's been in development limbo, if anything. Like it's just not. It hasn't been going anywhere. But now, like lately, in recent months, and I would say like the past like 2 years, is really where they've been like adding a lot more stuff recently. Like they recently changed the water mechanics in their engine, where water, like if you're flying over a body of water with your ship, it's going to react to that pretty well. Even like I notice now when I'm landing in some hangars, like if I'm landing in a New Babbage, which is a relatively new planet that they added to the game, if I land in one of their hangars, it's very like Camino from Star Wars. Everything's white with like curved at like things, and like everything's very clean looking, very like pristine and sterile. Where like you go to ArcCorp and like I said, it's Vice City. You go to Area 18 and like I went to land in the hangar and like dust was kicking up and everything, and it was just like, you know, there's different things that kind of like add to that. Or it was raining at one point on at this one planet that I was landing on. It was like an ice planet, but or an ice moon actually, but it was like raining and there were clouds, and I noticed like when I landed, it kind of like the wind kind of like was moving and
spray.
Like yeah, and like even like my ship was kind of like leaning to one side. I noticed I had to like correct the pitch or yaw or something, and like kind of so I can land safely. There's been times when the winds are like so strong, like I was doing a delivery mission, because like delivery missions are super easy to get, just like quick credits. Sometimes you might have to run into some NPC people that you gotta shoot down, but 9 times out of 10 it's like, here's an outpost, grab the package, put it on your ship, fly to where it's got to be delivered, go to that outpost, drop it. I literally like
do not look in the package.
Yeah. I walked out of this outpost, and as I'm walking out, because a lot of these outposts, they have an area where like you open the door and then it closes behind you, and you have to cycle for air pressure, and then it cycles, and then you can enter the building through the second door. I go through the second door to the outside and I have the package in my hand, and I just see my ship rolling in the wind. And I'm just like, and it's a low gravity ship, or a low gravity planet too, so my ship is just a balloon. Like a fucking tumbleweed. But it's cool. Like it's little things like that kind of make it like, I wasn't even mad. Oh, he's
missed it. His eyes were in the back of his head.
Oh yeah.
Silly ass dog.
That scratch behind the ear, man, gets you every time. But yeah, Star Citizen I think it's gonna make a comeback, and I think it's gonna be.
Yeah, I play that.
I play that.
It's
so good, and when I stream it, it's a bit laggy. I'm not gonna lie, but when I'm just playing it and I'm not streaming it, 60 to 120 frames, like maxed out graphics, and it is gorgeous.
What's the other game that they developed in parallel? Something 42?
Oh, Squadron 42. Yes, I was going to bring that up. So Squadron 42 is their campaign.
That they're
Star
supposed to be
Citizen
developing.
is the unit, is like that open world, blaze your own trail kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Squadron 42 is and in Star Citizen right now they have 2 other game modes where you can do kind of like a team deathmatch thing with, like, you pick your armor and your weapons and your attachments for your weapons, and you just kind of go and do like it's just kind of like a constant fight, and you're just in with other people that are coming and going.
Like old school WoW PvP.
Pretty much, yeah. And you're just going in, like, you know, it's just and like they have matches, it's like X amount of time, but like people are just coming and going. And the same with space combat. They have another one for like dogfights with certain ships.
Dogfights.
But it's and the more you play, the more points you can get to rent better gear or like better ships. So that's fun. But Squadron 42 is their campaign mode where it has like a story. That's where they had like Mark Strong, Mark Wahlberg, Gary Oldman.
Oh yeah, I saw that. They had a ridiculous amount of
what's his name from
voices.
he played the Onion Knight in Game of Thrones.
I forget his name, but yes,
Yeah.
the Onion Knight.
He's great. They also had what's her name that played Sully in X-Files, the red-haired woman. I forget her name too.
Gillian Anderson.
Yeah, she's in it. Whole bunch of like really like, and they all do like motion capture for and use their likeness for the story. But yeah, I'm really hoping Squadron 42 I'm going to be really excited for. Star Citizen is just...
That's the thing that had me confused is they are based off the same engine, both games, but they're technically 2 separate games.
Yes.
Okay.
It's but it's so if I remember correctly, if you bought a pledge of some kind for Star Citizen, you get Squadron 42 along with it. They're kind of two heads of the same coin. Like sort of similar with how, you know, I mean, most games nowadays have like an online mode and a campaign mode. It's just Star Citizen's campaign mode just happens to be called Squadron 42. So I think it's going to be a separate download. It's not going to be under the same curtain as Star Citizen because they are such large. Like you're literally downloading an entire solar system.
Okay.
And because there's no load screens.
What is large? I mean, if you don't know, I could look it up. You could easily look it up.
Yeah, I know the download for I remember the launcher told me it wasn't a lot, but I think they're also doing it now where it's not.
Because the reason I ask is the new Call of Duty is like a half a terabyte, 500 gigs.
Yeah, well, Call of Duty has been like that for a couple years now.
I don't understand why.
I thought about this, and I used to fucking bitch about it. I still play Call of Duty, but the only thing that I really play in Call of Duty is DMZ. I don't play Warzone. I don't do like the Battle Royale thing, even though DMZ is kind of like a Battle Royale thing, but it's instead of this circle getting smaller and smaller and smaller and people are fighting to, you know, it's this map. They have 3 different maps for it, and actually 4 now. One's like a medium-sized island, and then the other 2 maps are like just these big cities that are very big maps. I will say they're gigantic, and there's one where it's a building where like you're kind of like a SWAT team type thing in a building.
I am not a fan of online multiplayer.
I'm very picky with, like, I love Halo, I love playing Halo multiplayer online.
I think Halo's a different community.
It is. Yeah. No, the Call of Duty online community is famously polite and
Yeah.
astoundingly generous.
Yes.
Some of the nicest people I ever met. I'm kidding. They're fucking scumbags.
Manner maketh man. There's no man on that. There are no men in Call of Duty lobbies.
No, it's a bunch of fucking 14-year-olds just
Well,
shouting
Call of Duty-
profanities.
Call of Duty is legitimately the reason why they came out with that AI monitoring system, which is just I see these things and like, oh, they're going to have these bots that are watching lobbies and listening to all your conversations and like, oh, well, I don't have to worry about that because I don't talk to people. Even when I played Destiny 2, I flat out was like, no mic. I'm not talking. Don't want to talk.
I liked.
It's not why I play video games.
Yeah, I was never really big on like especially like when I played like Call of Duty or Halo or any online game. I play the game. Fighting and playing or whatever. But like when I played Division, because Division had proximity chat, so you'd be like in the dark zone. You walk by someone and you can talk to them, but the further away they get, the less you can. It's like not as loud, and I liked that, and I like that Call of Duty kind of has that now.
Do you see the silly face of the thing that this dog's making?
He's chilling now.
Goofball.
Yeah, like DMZ is cool. Yeah, just Halo just always holds a special place in my heart.
I played Halo for the story.
I still haven't see, that's the thing. Like, I still haven't finished the Infinite campaign.
All of them. I beat them within a week of them
And
coming out.
I never played Halo 5.
That's amazing that you would say that.
Yeah,
Halo 5 is so good.
I think because I didn't have, because I think it's mainly because Halo 5 wasn't on PC, and I didn't have an Xbox at the time. But I think they're talking about adding Halo 5 to the Master Chief Collection, which I do have, and if they have that, I will definitely play it then. But
really, you're just gonna pull my mic on me like that, goofball?
But
the only ones out of Halo that I wasn't like the biggest fan of, and I think it's universal, is 2 and 3. I liked 3. I thought both of their campaigns were really short in comparison to like Combat Advanced.
yeah,
4 is probably a return to process.
I cried like a baby at the end of 4.
Yeah.
Ugh. I've wanted to do that for so long, and I'm like, I would die for you, and you're not even real. But that 4 was also really cool because that was like the first time I think they used mocap for their cutscenes.
I think so. Yeah.
All the other ones were just computer generated, which was easy because most of the cutscenes either involved Master Chief or aliens, and you didn't really need a lot of you didn't need mocap for that. But what they did with the Halo 2 remastered, where it was like Halo 2 with like Halo 4 graphics.
I don't think I played that. I played CE with the Halo. Is that the anniversary one?
Yeah,
I haven't
but
played
the Halo
that yet.
2 anniversary, dude.
Well, I plan on.
It's. Do you have the Master Chief collection?
Yeah, absolutely. I bought it.
Halo 2 with the new crap. Oh,
I bought it, and then it came out for free on Game Pass.
go figure.
Of course.
Dude, it's gorgeous. Dude, all the cutscenes are completely redone,
Interesting.
and it's amazing. It's not like the Combat Evolved Anniversary where it's just like they upscaled the polygons and everything. No, they completely redid it, and it is gorgeous.
I've been playing CE with my son, so we've been going through that, and we're about halfway through because he's 8, and it's hard to get him to lock in and focus.
Yeah. No, I the Combat Evolved story was probably top 3 of all the Halo campaigns for me. I wouldn't say it's one, but 4 is probably like number 1 for me. And then like I would say probably like Halo 3 would probably be like number 2, and then number 3 would probably be like Halo Combat Evolved. But they're all good.
They're all good.
And you know what? Actually, I don't think gets enough credit is the Halo 3 ODST. I loved ODST.
I liked ODST
because the silenced SMG, so good, and I liked that you weren't this like super soldier, like indestructible, like you were an elite unit,
had to
like
be strategic.
Yeah, but ODSTs were like they weren't like the grunts of the USNC, but oh god, the helmets were cool. I liked that they had like the fingerless gloves. They were like all tactical and stuff. The armor was cool. Like that just one giant chest piece and then the shoulder pieces. Like I want to play it again. Yeah, ODST is probably my favorite. I even when I played online, whenever I unlocked like the ODST helmet or like ODST armor pieces, that's what I was rocking.
I believe ODST, the main character, is voiced by Fillion.
Who?
I forget his first name. I always forget his first name. He's the guy from Serenity. I've never put the guy who played the head pool.
Oh yeah,
that's he played Castle.
Yeah,
I believe he does a lot of stuff.
I think
he does a lot of Halo stuff too.
I think they're doing in Halo Infinite. I think they were talking about adding a new weapon and having it be because they don't have an SMG in Halo Infinite right now, and I think they were because Halo ODSTs or Halo 2 came out with the SMG. Yes. Yeah, Halo 2 because you can dual wield the SMGs, but I think they were talking about adding SMG to the roster for Halo 2 Anniversary.
Basically, you can tell which Halo is my favorite by which one has the Magnum with the scope.
Yeah, scope Magnum is. Oh God, it's so OP.
4 Infinite, all of those. I mean, are they over? Is it overpowered? Yeah.
Yeah. Same with.
But you're supposed to be a super soldier. Why shouldn't it be?
ODST, you could snipe with a pistol with the Magnum. You could zoom in ODST because I don't think you could in 3.
No, 2 and 3 you can't.
Yeah, but in ODST, I remember a lot. That was like a big thing that everybody was really stoked about. They're like, "Yes, you could fucking snipe with a pistol again."
Yeah. Well, that's because we all jumped in on 2, and we're like, "Oh, you could dual wield," and then you pick up the pistol and you're like, whoosh, and it's like the binoculars, not the reticle, and you're like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
And people started complaining to the devs, and the devs are like, "Yeah, but you can dual wield." And they're like, "We don't care.
Yeah,
we want to be able to snipe with a pistol."
Yeah. Oh man, that thing was that was overpowered as fuck, but it was so worth it. I have this one armor set. I got the Mirage armor core on Halo Infinite, and I forget what helmet I used, but I made it. I unlocked the Covenant frontline armor like it's the color coding, armor coding. So it's like blue, but it has that like hexagonal like little bits in it. So I used that with like a bright orange visor so I look like a hunter.
Nice.
And I was like, because they have some of these visors that look like they're very bright. They look like they're glowing. And I was like, oh shit, I look like a hunter. This is cool. It even has like the one gauntlet part that's just like fat, and it just looks like a big arm cannon. Speaking of arm cannons, Mega Man in Secret Level is going to be really good. And I can't wait to see the Pac-Man.
Yeah, because that looks interesting. I don't know where they're going with that one.
Yeah, but I like that it looks like a robotic thing with like razor buzzsaw looking teeth. And I'm like, that's pretty brilliant. I like that.
Makes me think of what was the name of that movie, that Stephen King movie back in they were on an airplane and they took off and these things were coming behind them and they were eating. The movie was named after those things. Well, I just dropped my remote.
Oh, well, it's there now.
Womp womp. Dead air. It's not good.
How's everybody doing? We still got people watching, or are y'all lurking?
That's interesting.
What's up?
I can't actually repeat it. We would get flagged. It's one of Stephen King's new movies.
Is it a bad word?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God, he does so many movies.
Yeah.
How am I going to find this?
Yeah, I think everybody's
So-
just lurking.
So the theory of the movie is that there is a plane and everybody gets on the plane and it takes off and they somehow like, hi Raven.
Yeah, Raven's still here. The Night Flyer?
No.
Langoliers?
The Langoliers. That's it. Yes. The Langoliers. So the story is.
Oh, it was a TV series.
Was it a TV series? Or was it like one of the
It
mini
was a
series?
mini
like they
TV.
did
Yeah, it
with-
was a
with
mini
it?
series. Came out in 95.
So, plane takes off, somehow gets like into a trans-dimensional rift, and then there's these things called Langoliers that go back behind and like eat the world into the next step of time.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. And it has like 3 lips with giant teeth that come out, and yeah.
And it, yeah, it's like, but that's what it was like. Was like the guy looks out the window and it's like eating the world behind him. It's like,
Dude, I just want to know, with all of the things that just the books alone that Stephen King has written, like
that man's killed a lot of trees. That man's killed a lot of trees. And
I just want to know what he has smoked and what he's done, where his brain goes with some of these things he's come up with.
Well, he's a recovering alcoholic.
It's good.
That's a joke that if you're not his fan, then you wouldn't understand it. Every story that he writes, there's always a recovering alcoholic because he's a recovering alcoholic.
Fair.
He's blind. Yes, he's clinically blind and has been since like early 2000s, if I remember correctly. So he doesn't have much to do other than
I was
to
gonna
think.
say, yeah. There was a not an interview, but it was like a panel, like something similar to what like the Screen Actors Guild does, but it was literally just like Stephen King and Tolkien on George R. R. Martin on
Tolkien's been dead for years.
and he goes and George R. R. Martin just goes, he's like, how the fuck do you write so many books so quickly? And I was like, I don't think I've ever heard George R. R. Martin say fuck, but it was funny. And I forget what Stephen King said, but I gotta rewatch that.
I remember. I remember what he said. He tries to get 8 pages done.
That's right. Yeah.
Every day if he can.
Yeah.
No, I did like a mini dive into his process of how he writes, and he has a writing room. I believe he has a writing shed, if I remember correctly, and he goes out to the shed. It's either him. I might have somebody else mixed up with him, but I'm pretty sure he sits down and smokes a couple cigarettes and then tries to pound out 8 pages before he does anything else. And sometimes he'll get through 4, get up, go have breakfast, do his thing, then.
Which is insane, because that's like, because there's some, dude, I've written things that have actually been published, and which is cool. I get writer's block a lot. And like there's times when like, you know, I try to like when I'm feeling that moment of inspiration and I'm like, oh, I have to write this down. And then there's other times where I'm like, I just put the pen to paper and just nothing is happening.
So writer's block is interesting. What's the name of the lead singer from Weezer? He's got a weird name. I could probably look it up. Weezer.
Ooh, ooh, I look just like Buddy Holly. And you made me Tyler. I know it too, and I know once I hear it, I'm just gonna be like, "That's it."
Okay, why are they not named? You know who I'm talking about? The guy who looks just like Buddy Holly.
Yep. I don't care what they say about us anyway.
Rivers Cuomo.
I did not. Yeah, I did. I did
Didn't know
not.
that?
No.
Rivers Cuomo.
I don't know why I thought it was something else.
He's the Stephen King of music. At least he's known for being like that. Like, he just sits down every day, writes. He's got notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks of music and lyrics. That's just what he does.
Must be nice.
Must be nice. But that you got to think like that's good and bad. But you have to go through and sort through everything to find and pick and choose. And that, because that's what somebody said to him, like, you know, where do you come up with this stuff? Because like hash pipe, I got my hash pipe, boom, 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 boom. Like, he's like, I just open the book, go through, find something, and then I go to the guys, like, what do you think about this? And they're like, it's good, or it's bad, or it's, you know, we'll ride with this. And then he just, I just put it there.
Yeah, I see. My writing process has kind of been, I would sit down with my bandmates, and we would, like, they would show me something that they put together, and then I would kind of write along to it.
That's how I did it.
And then I would just kind of, but then there was other times when like I just wrote essentially just a long poem. I've never written like, okay, this is the verse, this is the chorus, this is the interlude, this is the bridge. I'll repeat the chorus again here. Like, no, I just go, I've always done, you know, A to B. And that was kind of a similar writing process with my bandmates when I was in Me vs. I. They never really did a lot of like chorus, verse, like patterns. It was just kind of like
linear.
Yeah. And I think that's why we vibed together so well. And like, there's a couple songs where we kind of like have like not a chorus, but there's like one part that's like repeated a couple times. But yeah, and it would be like,
where's that confounded bridge?
Yeah. It's like, what should we put here? And it's like, no, we just kind of like vibe with it. But there was times when, and then when the band broke up, I still kind of kept writing a lot, and I think I had like 2.5 albums worth of like lyrics written down. I didn't really have a lot of I didn't have anything to put to it. Ooh, yes sir. And then I joined another band, and they had a vocalist that had left, and I kind of picked up where their old vocalist left off, because at that time, I'd not been with Me versus I for a year, but I did guest vocals with them once, and because I already had like kind of some experience with them, and we had that bit of charisma, I joined. But they already had songs that were like established, so like that was easy, where I had to just learn the lyrics and the vocal approach, even though I kind of like I put my own little spin on it vocally. As far as my vocal approach, the lyrics were the same. And then then we wrote a couple songs together. There was like one or two. There was one song that I did the guest vocals for, which we recorded. A song that their other guitarist had written, and I just did vocals with him. And then there was one song, "Mother," that I kind of wrote. That was like one of the songs that I had written and actually had recorded. But yeah, my writing process is like I just kind of just write poems. I don't really write lyrics. I'm not a fan of the whole. All right, I need a verse, chorus, verse. Like I remember watching an interview with Sting, and he was like, "Well, you write the chorus and you write the verse and this and that," and I'm like, I guess it's the nonconformist in me, but then
Yeah, but that's why Sting was always like, even when he was with the Police, they were always like poppy.
Yeah, I mean that's like the general, like when you write pop music or even like a lot of rock songs, most like mainstream music. But I never even like music videos where it's like the band pretending to sing the song and perform it. And like you can see like when the drummer hits the cymbal, you see the tape on the underside of it, so like it mutes the cymbal while they're like recording the music video. Like sometimes it works, like but like most music videos where it's like we're pretending to rock out, we're singing a song, and I'm just like, this is lame. Like I know you're pretending and you're lip syncing to your own song, and it's just silly. That's why like I loved like music videos for like Tool. Like I loved music videos that like told a story. It was like a short film in itself.
9 Inch Nails, bro.
Exactly. I like music videos like that.
Like they would do videos where they were like playing like Into the Void, March of the Pigs.
March of the Pigs is probably like my favorite song by them.
I'm trying to think of the other ones. I think the Hand That Feeds.
It's another good one.
Alan's Head Crashing Through the Wall. Tool mentioned. Dude, favorite band.
You guys talking about Tool? I haven't heard their latest album, but I heard it was not.
I got it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that up.
I heard it was not. Someone said it wasn't that good, and I was like, "What?" I heard like someone say, yeah, you might have mentioned it wasn't.
This is how you know I'm a fan. This is how you know I'm a fan.
Pretty sure I just heard your entire spine just. Oh no, it was that.
I wish my spine would crack like that.
I'll crack it for you.
So I went out and I actually got the limited edition. Can I get that in the frame? There you go.
There's a lot of glares and reflections.
Yeah, that's the way it looks.
Yeah.
It's just.
Ain't that pretty?
It's got the book. It's got all.
Let me see the
stuff.
outside box. Let me see or sleeve, whatever you want to call it. Now is Alex Gray still doing a lot of their cover art, or?
I believe so. I believe he's still the one that they have contracted. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. I believe Alex Jones is actually the one that designed this.
Alex Jones?
Not Alex Jones.
Adam
Ray. Jones.
Adam Jones.
Adam Jones. Their guitarist. I believe.
Bartleby Jones.
Bartleby Jones.
Shout out to anybody who knows what that's from.
But it's got stuff like that in it.
in typical Tool fashion.
And to be perfectly honest with you, I'm not a fan of the album. Thank you very much, Alan. Yes, it is. It's gorgeous, and it's I love that band, and I would literally buy anything that they. Well, I can't say that because they do put out a lot of stuff that's very commercially. Sometimes they drop stuff. If you want to take a look at this. But the album as a whole, I don't think it's as a realized album as, say, like Ladderless was. Like it
that and like 10,000 Days are like
10,000. I mean, even 10,000 Days, I feel like they started to stray. I feel like Ladderless is truly from track 1 to track fucking 13.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous art. It was thought through. It was all the way through.
Yeah.
With 10,000 Days, I know that there was a concept there, but certain songs didn't fit as well. I felt like they were kind of falling back to their Anima days of. Yes, absolutely. Where there were songs inserted like The Pot and Lost Keys that kind of broke the general vibe of the whole album. My problem with this one is that there's like their interludes that they do. I think one's like Chocolate Chip Trip. Like
that sounds more like a Pussifer type song.
And Mocking Beat. And it's literally a mockingbird just like chirping over top of a drum beat. I thought that was sort of weird. I mean, it's not uncommon from them. I'm used to stuff like that making it into like box sets like Salival. Like Merkaba is one of my absolute favorite songs from them. Yeah, that's the Chocolate Chip Trip is just Danny screwing around with his synth, and that's the same thing with Mocking Beat. That was stuff that would end up on like Salival, which was a box set that was like rare live songs they did.
Okay, Adam Jones was the art direction for it, but Alex Gray did the Great Turn concept. Original art and graphics, Joyce Sue. CGI done by Matthew Santoro. Alex Gray art, Vision Crystal Tondo. It's just showing like different like artists who have done it. Ann Chien, Sean Cheatham. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. And Deborah Sheedy. Oh, and Mackie Osborne as well did the layout design. This is all really like well done.
Now, that's not saying that I'm not a fan of certain tracks. I think Invincible is one of my favorites. Studio version of Cold and Ugly. Yeah, when. I don't think they'll ever go back to those early days of their semi-demo Opiate.
Oh,
I know that they redid Opiate Squared, which was okay. It was definitely a different little reimagining towards the end of it.
It says disc. Are these discs or are they vinyls?
They're vinyls.
They are vinyls, okay.
I believe they have artwork on them also.
I'm not going to take them out. I'm just looking at the... Damn, it's like fucking... Oh, it's a double LP?
It's like a quadruple.
Oh, it's a quadruple, yeah.
Yeah. But like Numa, I get a little lost in.
Oh, it's 5.
I'm trying to think of what the other tracks are, but that's the thing. Is like I can't even name the whole.
Yeah, I see here Tempest and Mocking Beat.
Yeah, like I was expecting Tempest to be better, and more.
Side J, no audio.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's because they're art discs.
Yeah.
But I have the Lateralis art discs. I have two versions of it. I have the regular one and the one that has like each disc is an art print of the CD box when you open it, and it's the different Alex Gray sort of panels of the guy who's standing there like this, and it's like the severing of him.
Yeah.
Each disc is its own one, and you flip it, and then
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah. I actually think I still have. You know what I should bring over next time I come over? Since I have a record player at home. It's just not. It's literally just a record player that has built-in speakers, and it's the size of a turntable. It's like nothing impressive, but that's. Oh wow!
They just have center art. Oh yeah, no, there is art, but it's whatchamacallit. It's you have to. I don't know if you can actually even see that. Yes, you can. I can actually get that on camera pretty good. Right,
oh, that's fucking wild.
Oh yeah. That's why I got it. Is because it's got beautiful stuff.
Yeah, next time I come over, I got to bring. I actually have the last album that I recorded. That was actually pressed by a record label in the Czech Republic. Because we had records printed. We had records made of our last album made in Prague, and then we had another record label that was based in Germany that favored like kind of like the post-hardcore underground sound, that actually made our album in cassette form for free.
Nice.
And they shipped it to us, and the shipment got lost. So somewhere out there, there are 300, I think it was 300 cassette tapes of Following Feathers. That's cool. Vinyl is it really is an art.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's like, cause there, you'll have people that say like, oh, like analog is so much better than digital, vinyl over, MP3 all day. And I get that. But
yes and no.
There are, pros and cons to, I think, both. Analog and vinyl and cassette, they have their charms, but and there's like different sounds that you'll get out of a vinyl that you're not going to get out of an MP3, and then there's or digital, and then there's going to be sounds in digital that you can get that you wouldn't be able to necessarily get through vinyl. But I mean, like I said, I like them both pretty equally.
I like Lossless because they're essentially the same thing as what I'm holding in my hand right now. But the problem is that there's not cheap portable players that can accomplish playing Lossless. I think I'm holding it the wrong way. There we go. Yeah.
That's cool. I think one of these days I gotta bring some of my records over. I forget what I have on vinyl. I don't really have too many.
My dream is to get that one's really hard to say. There we go.
Oh wow, yeah. That's wild looking.
My dream is to get an original pressing of Anima. They are not cheap or easy to find. I have a pressing of Anima, but it's a reprint and it's neon green, which I'm not complaining because it plays fine. But an original release is like $800. Yeah.
Everybody subscribe to us so we can monetize this bitch
And I'll play it.
ASAP.
Yeah, and then I'll play it.
I think, we got to hit 300 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're watching this, if you're 2 hours and 7 minutes and 15 seconds into this stream and you're watching post-stream, because not a lot of people are watching right now. But
There you go, Alan. That was for you. I was showing each one of these.
hit that goddamn subscribe button if you know what's good for you. I'll never forget the one clip of Maynard going they're playing a show and he's like, who wants to order pizza? And the crowd's like, yeah. And he's like, I want waffles. We got a new album out. It's called 10,000 Days. Buy it so I can afford waffles. And then they go on to play their show, and then at one point he's like, waffles are fresh, ever few. Like, oh God, love him. Yeah, but subscribe to our YouTube so we can afford waffles and $800 vinyls. Oh no, man down. This is my.
That was an original pressing of Moderat's first album that I just knocked over.
Smooth. This is my mantra right now. Positive attitude, negative bank account.
Is this the one that has the art discs? Yes.
Ooh.
So each one of these is playable.
Wait, how did they do that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Wait a second. Hold that up again. Let me see it on the TV.
There's that side.
How the fuck? With
and then there's
that has to be like air. No, because then how is it? Wait.
I know. That's one of the reasons why I.
Can I hold on? May I?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to put it back.
How in the fuck?
The inside looks like that.
Oh, that's cool. It's a holographic first edition. I like that art on the outside. How in the shit?
There's that one.
Dude.
And then if you look closely at the brain of this one, it says God. Did you ever see that in the brain? Right there. In the squiggles, it says God.
Oh. Yeah, how the hell? And it's, yeah, because you can see the grooves.
Yeah, this one doesn't get played much. I don't want to do any damage to that.
I don't blame you.
So I bought just a regular black
That's
one. And
like, I didn't even want to take it out all the way. That's cool. I'm curious how they did that, because I've seen, like, we had a I think we were gonna get a limited press of, because all five of us got the 5 original test press of the album, and they shipped those to us from Prague, and we gave them the okay. This sounds good. No. And our one guitarist was like a kind of like a vinyl snob, He's like, you got a huge collection, and he pretty much was like, yeah, this is good. And we're like, all right, cool, print them. And so that's when they did. But I still have the, I have the original, press and the one. I think it was. I have 3 of 500 that were made.
Nice.
And because we took the first 5, of the first 1 through 5, we each took one of them.
To Alan, I would actually, now is the time to get into vinyl. There's been a resurgence. I kind of got into it a little before the resurgence, and but after COVID, people started buying up vinyls again because they just all around sound better. And if you get a lot of the newer reprints, you have to do a little bit of your own research. You have to go digging a little bit. I would actually recommend checking out some audiophile websites where they'll talk about which prints are really good. I don't recommend diving into the audiophile quality stuff yet. That's a realm that, unless you got a heavy duty expensive system, that's just unnecessary. But there are situations where certain companies printed better quality versions of the same album. And sometimes some versions are just garbage. I have a Perfect Circle cut that luckily is a 2021 version, but the 2018 I think it's the 2018 version is actually a pirated reprint from one of the Balkan states. So it might have been Poland, and they actually have a live track mixed into the regular tracks. Yeah, because the guy just was taking MP3s and cutting them to records, and didn't know and he LimeWired one of the tracks legitimately, and it's I believe it's Sleeping Beauty is actually.
Imagine going to play a vinyl record, and out of nowhere it just says Winamp. It kicks the llama's ass.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's happened. I know that there's plenty.
So many bootlegged.
Bootlegs. But
oh my god!
But I luckily got a version where it's the album art is not fantastic because it's actually the same album art as the 2018 cut, but for whatever reason it's the proper track listing. With an extended track on it, which is the same song "Sleeping Beauty," but it's got a meandering, the Bill Clinton sound over vinyl. Bill Clinton sound. I don't know that one.
What is the Bill Clinton sound? Is it a saxophone? Is it him going, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman"? I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
No, but legitimately, right now, there's a lot of stores that are opening up, or even vinyl shops. I drive all the way out to Atco area, Berlin, to try, because there's one Berlin guy who's all resales, and he's got a lot of good stuff.
There used to be my buddy Tom used to work at there was one in Northfield, Linwood area that he used to work at. That was a
Play It Again or something like Repeat or something like that.
I forget. I couldn't tell. It was right off Route 9, but it was a cool spot. He used to work there, and he actually had, I think, a copy of the Me vs. I record in there. But I forget if it was because
here you go. Wait.
We gave one to him, or if someone actually went in there and sold it.
I showed you this, but here's one. I picked this up at Walmart, and I picked it up at Walmart on discount because the cellophane was ripped.
I didn't even know Walmart had vinyls. That's surprising. Wow. All right, close my eyes. I'm not looking.
You've seen this. I showed you this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you did tell me about this.
Here you go.
I was like, where'd you get that? And you were like,
this is one for you.
Get ready to laugh. Raven will love this.
Yeah. Limited edition.
I think it's time we blow the scene, get everybody in this stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Oh, it's gorgeous. Dude, I love that color too.
Right?
That shit pops.
Walmart. I got it for like $12.
You ever look up, see how much it's worth?
It's not. It can't be worth that much.
No.
It's a reissue, so it's probably
It's
at
still
most
fucking nice.
$20, $25. But yeah, and better sound than you have ever heard. You heard it on the system.
Yeah.
Would you expect a TV soundtrack
No.
to sound like you're sitting in a big band concert hall? Like, I love this album.
Well, you got the two stacked speakers right here with the tweeter in the middle, the sub right there, with the fucking head unit that's bigger than both my feet put together.
Honestly, Raven, they got it online. I know that they got them online, and I know that they got them at Walmart, and they're not that expensive. I would totally. That's what I'm saying. Like, now is the time to get into vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
Some albums you're going to run into, they're going to be $30. They're going to be $45. But it's not the situation like my biggest thing when Sony did the thing with the movies recently, at the beginning of the summer, where they started limiting people's access to movies that they purchased. I was like, that's it. I'm done with Spotify. I'm done with all the streaming services. I will use Spotify in the regard of like listening to new stuff and see if I like it. But when it comes to an album, I'm going to support the artist.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to buy a physical album.
Yeah, I never really see a lot of people putting like CDs into the CD player anymore. Or like records are still holding up, but not a lot of people are. Everybody's like, oh, check out our music on Spotify or Apple Music or Tidal, iHeartRadio, etc. Yo, check out my new beats on SoundCloud, bro. I did my hair today for the first time in a while, and it actually looks good. Like, I actually put something in it and made it so, like, I brushed it and made sure it looked good. I might keep growing the hair out, man. This is not too shabby.
Where are you?
And I'm so sorry.
I got an original Pink Floyd.
An original Pink Floyd, no shit.
Original cut of Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Fucking A.
Yeah, that's I got a lot of weird stuff though, too.
My first album I'd buy would probably be MF Doom's Mad Villain.
Totally worth it. It's a phenomenal album.
Long Hair, Don't Care. Dirty Sweater, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna keep growing it out. I might get it cut within like the next month or two, just to kind of clean it up, make sure it's all nice and neat. I got long hairs on the back of my neck that I want to get rid of. Tidy it up. I'm trying to look like Slevin from Lucky Number Slevin, because Josh Hart, and it's just gorgeous.
I inherited a few of my albums. I was trying to find one of them that I wanted to show off.
Oh, my dad's got like fucking crates filled with vinyls.
Still.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Totally worth it. Totally worth to invest in this one. But here's one that a lot of people would cream their jeans over. You know what this is? An original 1971 Who.
71 Who.
The Who.
The Who?
The Who. Who?
Who?
Who's on first? Who's next?
Who's on stage?
Who has the original track Baba O'Reilly? Teenage Wasteland.
I'm not gonna lie, I was never a big Who fan. I appreciated them as a band and as artists, but I never went out of my way to buy an album.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Shit, that's OG as hell.
If I had a choice, I wouldn't have purchased this. But at the same time, I wouldn't mind owning it because this is one of those like historical albums.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I got Dark Side of the Moon. I have an original cut of the Dark Side of the Moon that I inherited. I used to have more. I used to have the entire Rush collection, but that got donated by my dad, not realizing that vinyl was going to become popular again. I ironically found 2 of those albums, and I have it, Fly By Night and
I wouldn't.
Farewell to King.
He never would have struck me as a Rush guy.
My dad?
Yeah.
Huge Rush fan.
Really?
Huge Rush fan, yes.
I would like, I just picture him as like God, like, I don't know what I would like really picture him listening to, but not Rush.
My dad's what's funny is my dad exposed me to. I actually had 2112 on audio cassette because that was one of my favorite albums. My dad's the one. But see, both of my parents influenced my music tastes heavily. My mom was far more of like the punk rock scene, and my dad was more of like classic metal scene. So he got me into like Led Zeppelin. He got me into Rush. He got me into Queensryche. He got me into, my dad also liked stuff that was like Little Feat. You ever listen to Little Feat?
Little Feat I've never heard of.
Blue Eyed Soul, where it's like that's what they call that genre of music. It's sort of like bluegrassy, sort of funky, down home, country-esque, but not like country.
Yeah, so
country.
Like my dad, he was like, he would be listening to things like he listened to Rush, he listened to Led Zeppelin, but he was also listening to like the Allman Brothers.
Yeah, my dad was a big Allman Brothers
fan. And Billy Joel.
My mom was Billy Joel.
But then like he'd be listening to shit. Like, you ever listen to Brain Salad?
Yeah, I love that album. That was one of my favorite albums. My dad had that.
Yeah.
My dad and your dad get along really well. It kind of starting to make a lot of sense now.
Sounds like they should get together and go bowling.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad was, my old man's very like
Derek and the Dominoes.
I remember our generation is very, like, I'm sure, you know, when they were our age, when we were younger, like listening to music, screaming and all that, yelling and all that, that's not music. Like my dad was kind of like that. My mom, not so much. She was just like, you're having fun. And
so my dad was the one that got me into Stone Temple Pilots. He got me into Nirvana. He got me into Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains was one of his favorite bands. He was really big in the grunge scene. But this is also, interesting because the guy was like really into like Layla is like one of his all-time favorite songs. Kansas.
Kansas, my dad listens to a lot.
My dad's a huge fan of Kansas. But then I got him into stuff like Korn. I got him into stuff like Marilyn Manson. And he had Mechanical Animals, which he bought himself. He liked Marilyn Manson that much. So my dad was into the heavier stuff.
He was like, my dad got me into a lot of I grew up on Zeppelin and Billy Joel and Queen. Queen was another big one.
My mom was Queen.
Growing up, me and my friends always called my dad Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
Just because he had dark hair and a mustache, and it's just like, mind you, my dad's like, he's even well into his 60s, still has a fucking six-pack.
I am a fan of King Crimson.
But
they're Alan.
But growing up,
my Hall of the Crimson King.
My older brother got me into when I was young. He used to have this like stack of CDs, and it was like those like towers, and you just like slide the CD case into it. It has like the name of the album on each one, so you can see like, all right, this. And he had I remember looking at it, I could still see it in my head. He had Metallica, He had Deftones. He had some like I think he had like one Led Zeppelin record. What At the Drive-In, Nirvana. What was a bunch of other big bands. But he listened to a lot of heavy stuff, but then he would also have like some ska. Like he had a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones album.
I was a Boss Tones fan.
I think he had a Real Big Fish album.
You're talking about stuff. That was the box. That was the box that made us fans of all.
Yeah,
Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Not too many people know about the box.
No doubt. Yeah,
the box was that was like our TRL back then.
Yeah,
and it's that was back when like we still only had like not even 100 channels on TV.
Yeah, I mean, somebody might trash me, but that's why I became a Coldplay fan. Like
I never got into them. I listened to them a bunch of times. I gave them a shot for some reason. Just never.
Their first release, Yellow, was okay. I feel like it's actually a poor rendition of that album, but that album itself, Parachutes, is a phenomenal album. That from the first track to the last track. That's how I rate a good album. I mean, it sounds stupid, but if I can listen to it from front to back, and I will memorize that whole track list.
That's how I am with this one album. They literally have, I think, only last time I checked, like they're starting to come up. They had like 7,000 monthly listeners on Spotify when I first discovered them. Now they're at like 11,000, I think. Still very like underground kind of, but phenomenal band. I think I wanted to show them to you at one point. Called Soul Keeper.
I thought you were gonna say Sleep Token.
No, Sleep Token's amazing.
Yeah.
I remember I showed them to you at work, and you were just like, no, not feeling it.
So what I've come to find out is Sleep Token's actually a super band.
Like band, like each member is from a already established band.
Yes, which is why they don't put their names on their albums. Somebody figured it out by actually like going and digging into their registry, their album registry. So when you actually copyright things, you have to put a name down, and somebody found one of their names and was like, "Oh shit!" And
was it Vessel or was it like?
I don't know which one it was. I just know that
because Vessel's the singer, and then they have I forget what they call the members. Like the drummer was one of the founding members.
They're like Roman numerals. It's like 4. It's like 3 and 4.
Yeah, which Sleep Token is. That's another band where I can just listen to their albums straight through, and it's funny because they released their last album last year, and the very last track harkens back to the very first track of their first album, and I remember listening to it and I'm like, oh god, oh you sons of bitches, this is it gets you like right here, and it's like it's played on it, but the way they do it is just chef's kiss.
I can have appreciation for something that planned out.
Pretty sure the bassist from Architects. Yeah, I was gonna say Architects is probably a big one because they're like one of the big bands from the UK. I loved Architects, like their earlier stuff. The new stuff's terrible. I can't when their one guitarist who was the main songwriter of that band had an untimely passing with cancer. And I respect and I appreciate that the band tried to keep it going, but it just wasn't the same without the main writer, because like These Colors Don't Run, phenomenal song, phenomenal message. Broken Cross, another great one. Outsiders, another good one. Like those tracks are phenomenal, but then you listen to like the new stuff and it's terrible.
Speaking of bands where lead singers die and then they should take the hint and start a new band. Did you hear Linkin Park made an announcement yesterday?
No.
Yes, Linkin Park has emerged.
I
We're on the
saw-
same vibe.
I saw something.
We're on the same wavelength there, Alan.
I saw something where it was like a young lady singing
Yeah,
for them now.
yeah.
Huh.
I gotta tell the bot to leave you alone, Alan.
Bro, it's Emily. Like, why? Who's Emily? Is that like Chester Bennington's daughter? Or?
Dead Sarah. I don't know who she is. I've never heard the band Dead Sarah. I can tell you that I opened up the live concert that they were doing. They were doing In the End, and I turned it off.
I saw a clip. I think it was like an Instagram reel or something. Or no, it was on somebody's story. It was on a friend's story on Instagram, and I remember watching it. And it was Linkin Park performing, but it was like some blonde girl
Yes.
singing Chester's parts.
Yes.
Scientology chick, very boring fry vocalist.
Yes. Thank you, Alan. That's pretty much what I was getting at.
See,
100%.
See, this is the thing. I've been doing vocals since technically 8th grade was the first time I ever did. Like, I was in a garage band with me and two of my friends. I was on drums. One guy was on guitar. The other guy was on bass. The other guy that was playing guitar wasn't even a guitarist. He was just like, I had a guitar, and I'm like, hey, I'll just hold your fingers here. Do the okay. All right, now we'll go. And it was just a bullshit thing that we were just like fucking around in my friend's garage. And then one day, the guy who was playing bass did vocals, and then one day I did backing vocals, and he was like, "You're definitely a screamer. Like you got frontman vibes." And then
you're a screamer.
that was because sex. So so I ended up being a frontman for a few bands, but doing like there's two different kinds of fry vocals that a lot of people I feel like don't realize that you can do. Because when you do vocals, whether you're and it's not just fry vocals, but it could be any kind of vocal approach. But you have a head voice and then you have a chest voice.
Right.
So like if you go from like when that moment your voice breaks, now you're in your head voice. So but you can essentially, whether you're doing fry vocals, tunnel throat, pig squeals, gutturals, and any kind of vocal, you can have a different approach for like whether you're doing chest or head vocals. But like their vocal from what I heard, their fry vocals were like, it sounded like a head fry, and it was not a good one.
I think they're fucking up because what they should do is they should literally, like, Shinoda is trying to cash in on the name Linkin Park, and they're trying to bring in somebody to sort of cash in on the nostalgia, where they should have just taken the opportunity and started a new band and just brought something fresh. Now, they brought a fresh track. It's a new song, and she doesn't sound half bad on that.
I haven't heard anything.
But they should have left the old stuff alone. They should have processed a whole new album and come out with all fresh tracks. They've only released one track, and they're trying to cash in on all their previous work. And she doesn't do Chester any justice.
That's
She
a shame.
sounds like a girl trying to sound like Chester.
Chester Bennington was honestly like the first song I ever heard from them, which oddly enough I think was either on the box or it was like
Oh, it was definitely the box because they played whatchamacallit.
paper. It was One
Paper
Step
Cut.
Closer.
Yeah, One Step
One
Closer.
Step Closer. It was the one where they're like hanging upside down. That was the first song I ever heard by them, and I was just like, and that's when like I was like, I mean, it was the 90s, like the new metal wave was all the rage, and I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop, and but then I also grew up listening to a lot of like, I grew up like listening to hip hop through like my friends from school. And then like, you know, my brother was listening to like heavy stuff. So when I discovered like new metal or rap metal, I was like, oh shit, this is okay. And like I loved like Limp Bizkit and like Korn and like Linkin Park growing up. Korn, I listened back to them and I'm just like, why did I like this? I'm like,
yeah, I can. Issues is always an album that I'm gonna love. Follow the Leader. I'm like, yeah, I was a teenager and I understand.
I think that was like they were aiming towards that demographic, like the angsty like
teens.
Yeah, and
one of the bands out of that genre that I listened to then and listen to now and listen to their albums from then and still love them would be the Deftones.
Yeah, Deftones is actually I think the band that I've seen live the most. Because they just hold
and I've never seen them live at all.
Oh, they hold a near and dear
Tool's
place
the one
in my
I've
heart.
seen the most.
Tool I've never seen live.
Yeah, I've seen Tool live.
I think Deftones and Coheed and Cambria are probably the two bands I've seen the most. Coheed again holds such a great place. I think they're like the Rush of our generation.
No, I take that back. Chris Cornell. I saw him in Audio Slave and I saw him in Soundgarden. And I loved his self-titled album.
I think I saw him in when he played it with Soundgarden. It was like one of the last shows he played.
He opened up for Nine Inch Nails. What a weird opener. Yeah, and it was exactly like that. Because I saw him for Audio Slave, and Audio Slave was like huge and powerful, and I saw him in the same venue too. That's the best part. And like they did their whole track listing, and then they threw in Chris Cornell's personal, like his self-titled album. Then they did some Rage. Then they did some Soundgarden, and it was like this 3-hour long amazing.
I was gonna say, how long did that take?
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. And you know who opened up for him? 30 Seconds to Mars. And that was literally their debut premiere. Yeah. No. Weird thing. But, like, it was one of the things that, like, I got to go take a look at this. Holy shit, I know Jared Leto. Holy shit, he ran past me. Because he actually did. He jumped off the stage and he had a flag he was running around with because he's a fucking goober. But,
yeah.
But then, when I saw them, I saw Soundgarden. I probably told this story before. When I saw Soundgarden open for Nine Inch Nails, they ran through pretty much all of Super Unknown. It was actually the King Animal tour that they were doing at the same time. They did a bunch of tracks from King Animal that I'd never heard before, but they were like plowing through them. It was like obviously towards the end of their tour, and they were just burnt and tired.
They wanted to go to bed.
Didn't sound like Chris Cornell. Like while he was singing, he was up there and they were just flying through the tracks. Like Black Hole Sun, like has that, that sort of slow staccato build up and all that stuff. And he did that live. He did Black Hole Sun, acoustic for the Audio Slave show. And that was the thing. It was like lights went down, everything was done. They had these backdrops that they would drop every time that they would switch to a different band. So then all of a sudden everything was done, and then he came out by himself and like just in the spotlight, and he's standing there and he starts playing Black Hole Sun with fucking acoustic. And then when it kicks into the heavy part, the whole band came on, and I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It was so
That's cool.
It was so good. And then to see him like fucking play it, like when take a tape and you you hit play and then you hold the fast forward, and it's like
Yeah.
That's pretty much how they played right before Nine Inch Nails. I was just happy that it was over with because it was so painful.
Wow. Yeah, I've done two tours, and both times it's like because you're doing almost every day, if not every day. Like you take one day off, and like we have one day off to rest and like sleep in and not drive 2 states over or something. But like by the end, it's just
we're 40 minutes into our second hour, and I have a question.
Okay,
I have a question.
God, we ramble. I love it.
When you do a tour, what's typically the schedule? Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
So we usually did a show like every day. There, the Brothers tour, which was our our first tour. We did a split EP with a band that we were very good friends with. We toured together and to promote the album, and it was, I think we were doing like a show like every day.
So where would you do Monday shows?
Usually at like a bar. That
Okay.
was like
Like Midwest.
yeah, like South. We played a lot of shows in the South, East Coast. Like, I mean, I think the only shows I never really played were on, like, as far as like East Coast. I mean, we did New York, PA, obviously, because those are the closest. Delaware, Maryland. We played Maryland a few times actually.
But is there like a location where like a certain day of the week actually hits better? Like you get a good turnout on like a Tuesday, but it's like fucking Tennessee or some shit like that.
Yep, it's
Okay.
like anywhere like South Midwest. You usually have a venue where it's like, and it's always like a bar where they have a stage set up. And there was actually one where we were in South Carolina, and it was like probably one of the farthest south cities of South Carolina, because it's literally like you pull up and there's like a bunch of motorcycles outside, and it had like, you know, Me Versus I and the Artwork Of on the marquee out there, but we're just like, nobody knows who we are. Like like you literally get up there and like I was dead surprised that there wasn't chicken wire on the stage.
Nice.
Like Blues Brothers style. And it was literally just like a bunch of bikers and like people like in their, I think the youngest person there might have been like 40. And they were all just sitting there drinking and hanging out, and we were just setting up our gear, and we're like and we went up first before, because we would alternate with the other band. Like some days we'd play last, and the other one, like, they'd play last. And we get on stage and we're like, I'm just like on the microphone, like, the things are gonna get loud for anybody who's just like straight up drinking. So, but they loved it and they had a great time, and they were like partying, and like there was this one like biker chick with like these giant like fake boobs and like put the band stickers over her.
Nice.
Yeah, nip nops, and yeah, it was a crazy time.
See, that's the thing that I've always thought was interesting, because generally in this area, all the shows are Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah, well, there was times when we played on a weekend. It would be at like there was this one place in Fayetteville, North Carolina called the Rock Shop. It was a huge, giant fucking, like, it was like as big as a Amazon warehouse.
Okay.
But it was on one side they had this like giant like what's the word I'm thinking of, like a big like Hellfest size stage.
Okay.
Huge. And then in the middle they had like a giant island that was probably 75% at the circumference of this house.
Okay.
With where you can like get drinks and stuff. And then they had another bar on the other side closer to the other stage, which was like a House of Blues size stage. And then they had like a basketball court and like fucking like air hockey and stuff in the middle. It was a huge place. And they had a big like one of those like called like Megatron things. Where they have like a basketball courts and ice skating rinks. But they were playing our music video on there. And it was a huge venue where we Steve and I met at one of his shows, a random Friday at a bar. That the watering hole's not there anymore. That venue was pretty all right. They had a decent stage. Yeah, I met Alan through the local music scene.
Who's that? Is that mommy? Is that mommy? Go get her.
But yeah, like we'd be playing these, you know. Like there's literally been shows on tour when we're literally just performing for our bartender, and that was it. There was nobody else there. And then there'd be other shows where we're like playing for, you know, 1,200 people.
Hi, love.
And but it was fun. And
chicken wing.
hot dog and bologna and macaroni, chilling with my homie, shippity-doopity-boo.
Huh?
Because we're on hour 3. We're just 2 hours and 46 minutes.
It's 3 guys. One of them's talking through chat.
But
Well,
yeah.
it is 3 hours. Do you want to?
Yeah, I'm down to call it here.
All right.
I mean, I kind of like this format where we do our reviews and then we just kind of shoot the breeze and talk about whatever. We talk with chat and we interact and everything.
I just smell chicken wings and I'm starving.
I think Roscoe is too.
Alan, I appreciate you stopping in and arguing with the chatbot for a while.
Absolutely.
And
Alan,
Steve.
Raven, thank you for hanging out as well.
As always, appreciate your presence.
Thank you for stopping by, everybody. I wouldn't be doing my due diligence to remind everybody that please like and subscribe if you like what you see, and if you want to see more, and if you have any suggestions to what you would like us to review next time, please leave a comment below. We do read our comments. We do interact. And please go check us out on our Instagram, which is at Generally Admitting, where we have our link tree where you can access our Discord.
I'm deleting that chatbot.
Yeah, the chatbots. No, I mean, it's funny. But it's when chatbot like deletes messages is when it's annoying. It's like, all right, you did all caps, but what was the question? Like, yeah. But yes, everybody, please check out our merch. We have a merch in our link tree, all our socials. I want you to like and subscribe and comment and share and share and comment and like and share. I want you to do everything you can. And we love you guys. Mwah, kiss. You're the best.
Bye.